Well, alright, I'm still here in Northern Idaho, and today I'm going to be riding the Hiawatha Trail. No cycling trip to the Northern Rockies would be complete without taking a ride down this Hall of Fame rail trail. It's not a long trail, it's less than 20 miles, but in that short distance, there's plenty to see. I gotta say, this trail is like drop dead gorgeous. This is one of the most scenic trails I've ever ridden on. It's not a trail that just goes past some mountains. This trail goes through the mountain. The trail brags 7 high trestles and 10 tunnels, all concentrated within about a 12-mile distance. So it's just trestle after trestle, tunnel after tunnel. Some of these tunnels are pretty dark, so you better have a good flashlight. The trestles and the scenery are spectacular, so make sure you got a camera. So here we go, the route of the Hiawathas, the Hiawatha Trail. The trail starts at the eastern portal of the Taft Tunnel. It's a 1.6 mile tunnel that goes underneath the Bitterroot Mountains and the Montana-Idaho state line. I was told that the tunnel was long, dark, cold, wet, and muddy, and that's a bad combination. So I decided to skip the tunnel and park at the western portal at the Rolling Trailhead. Most of the folks that I saw coming out of the tunnel had a big muddy rooster tail running up their backside. But it's a cool start to the morning with some overcast skies. They're not calling for rain, and hopefully the sun will burn off some of this cloud cover before too long. They were nice enough to hire some deer to work as greeters along the trail. They just stand there and say hello to the tourists as they come by and take pictures. And these deer don't look like they're in any hurry to get out of the way. The eastern portal, where the trail starts, is a little over 4,000 feet above sea level, 4147. At Pearson, at the other end of the trail, elevation's about 3180. So if you start at the top, which is what most people do, it's a gradual downhill the whole way. The trail drops about 1,000 feet over 13 miles, so it's downhill from the Taft Tunnel all the way to Pearson. It makes for some pretty easy pedaling. No wonder this trail's so popular. And most people don't ride back up the hill, back to the top. Instead, they take the shuttle. There are plenty of buses and pickup trucks with trailers to transport people and their bikes from the bottom all the way to the top. No shuttle for me. I'm riding there and back again. This trail is all about enjoying some awesome scenery without really exerting yourself. That is, unless you ride back to the top. Other than that, there's not much exercise to be had. In my opinion, it's the kind of trail that you coast down and enjoy the many wondrous sights along the way. It's just you and hundreds of your newest and closest friends. Saw lots of e-bikes on the trail. Not sure why you need an e-bike to coast downhill for 15 miles. Gravity does most of the work. That is unless you intend to ride it back to the top. Then that e-bike sure comes in handy.
Actually, you don't even need a bike. You can rent one. Just show up, rent a bike, ride it all the way to the bottom. You don't even break a sweat, and then you take a shuttle back to the top. Kind of reminds me of floating an inner tube down a lazy river. But instead of a river, it's a rail trail. And instead of an inner tube floaty, you ride a two-wheeled cycle all the way downhill.
In the late 1800s, the Milwaukee Railroad decided to build a line through the Bitterroots, past Missoula, and into the western markets of Seattle and Tacoma. It took nearly 9,000 immigrant workers 5 years, between 1906 and 1911, to complete this section of railroad. The rough terrain and the harsh winters made it especially rough, as they had to work year-round. It was considered the most scenic stretch of railroad in America. But the line proved hard to make a profit, and by 1961 carried no more passenger trains. The line still transported freight, but with competition from other railroads, even that dried up eventually. They filed for bankruptcy in 1977, and by 1980 the line was abandoned. The Hiawatha Trail first opened in May of 1998 with just 8 tunnels. The Taft Tunnel officially opened in 2001. The Hiawatha Trail is extremely popular, and for good reason. It's the crown jewel in the American rail trail system. The trail follows Loop Creek on its way to the St. Joe River. At first, traveling east, before it horseshoes around and crosses the river near a deer. On the other side of the creek, the trail heads west and downstream on its way to Pearson. Given the rugged terrain, this rail line is an engineering marvel. The 7 high trestles, each uniquely designed to span a specific river gorge, offer up some stunning treetop vistas. The bridges are wide enough and the guardrails tall enough so even folks with slight vertigo can enjoy the spectacular views. The design and architecture of each trestle is pretty amazing. Where necessary, the trail builders blasted through solid rock to create the 10 tunnels along the way. Each tunnel uniquely designed and built to find the smoothest path through these rugged mountains. The Hiawatha Trail is located on the Idaho Panhandle National Forest, and it's administered by the St. Joe Forest District. The trail is operated by the Lookout Pass ski area. It's probably one of the most crowded trails I've ever ridden on, and it's easy to see why.
There's lots of families enjoying a fun cycling trip together.
So it costs $20 for a day pass to ride the trail. That is, unless it's a weekend, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Or if it's a holiday, then the price doubles to $40. Unknown to me, today's actually a holiday. It's Juneteenth, so it cost me $40 to ride the trail today. And so I'm celebrating Juneteenth here with all my friends by riding the Hiawatha Trail.
Crazy.
What an amazing trail. If you're looking for a more heart-pounding adventure, with a little more exercise involved, there are miles and miles of gravel roads all through these mountains. The Route of the Olympian is a 31-mile continuation of the Hiawatha Trail. It parallels Interstate 90 and follows the St. Regis River. The North Pacific Trail, or NORPAC, is a 12-mile route that connects the Hiawatha Trail to the Route of the Olympian. This part of Idaho is wilderness, and I don't know about you, but I'm drawn to wilderness. Away from all that urban sprawl, familiar to city dwellers. Places that are somewhat hostile to civilized humans, without all the comforts and luxuries of the modern world. It's a primeval landscape, and other than the railroad, probably doesn't look much different than it did 1,000 years ago. Kind of stirs the caveman in me. But I am a product of modern society, and I do appreciate this rail line that makes my bike adventure possible. I just want to say thanks again to the fine people of Idaho. I appreciate their love for wilderness and their dedication for building some incredible rail trails. By bicycle is a great way to enjoy these mountains.
The Hiawatha Trail definitely deserves its Hall of Fame status, and it should be on everybody's bucket list. Bring the whole family. They'll love it. Well, that's it for me here in Northern Idaho. I hope to see you down the trail. Thanks for watching. Now go ride your bike.